Hey ladies, I am back with another quick video. I told you I was going to try to make more, right? So, I think it was sometime last year this video was presented to me and it resonated deeply the first time I watched it. I couldn't quite vocalize any symbolism, but I still found it incredibly poetic and profound. Since then, I've meditated on it and feel I've uncovered some feminine knowledge, so naturally, of course, I'm going to share it with all of you. Before I get into it, I'm going to say that it's best you watch the video for yourself, as you only get one chance to get a first impression. After you watch it, meditate on it for a bit, and then come back and watch this video for either extra clarity or even a different perspective. I'll leave a card to the video somewhere. It should pop up right about here. And there will also be a link down below in the comment section. So I definitely saw some spiritual and scientific significance in this story, which I'll probably talk about in the future. But, of course, since my channel is a space for women, I want the focus to be relating this back to femininity. Quick summary. In the myth, Atum, the physical manifestation of order, is said to have an eye, a feminine eye, that was all-knowing and basically protected him as he was creating within the clutches of Apep, the great snake of chaos. Atum sends his eye off on a mission, which of course leaves him vulnerable, so he creates a masculine eye to protect himself while she is gone. She returns from the mission, and seeing how seemingly replaceable she was, she flees, and then Atum sends Thoth after her. They debate about everything until she is convinced to return. And then, when she is joined with the masculine eye, they both see, pun intended, that they are stronger together than apart. Atum's first eye, his feminine eye, demonstrated the all-important moral of treating and knowing yourself to be the prize. She knew exactly how important she was to Atum, but when she saw that he was so willing to create another eye in her absence, she didn't hesitate to take her business elsewhere. The myth mentions that Atum is saddened by her departure, and this to me goes back to what I mentioned in my last video about men needing women more than the opposite. His feminine eye was all-knowing and all-seeing, essentially making her the physical manifestation of his own intuition. When I say men need femininity, it's not just in reference to a woman's presence. I'm also referring to the feminine energy that exists within themselves. Atum could have let his eye go on her merry way, but he knew he needed her. After all, that's why he created his masculine eye in the first place. He knew exactly how important she was to him, so he used his masculine eye as protection in the meantime. When she leaves, this time of her own accord, rather than on a mission, he then proceeds to send Thoth after her in an attempt to bring her back. The important thing about this part is that Thoth didn't demand she return, and he wasn't sent to capture her. It was apparently important to Atum that the eye return of her own free will. And then it was only after she had a conversation with Thoth that she was convinced. In order for her to rest comfortably in her femininity with Atum, Thoth, who in a sense is a masculine extension of Atum, had to prove to her that it was worth her while, effectively proving that she would be safe. This also harkens back to what I said about chaos wanting to be free, only able to be, quote, bound, in a sense, when order/masculinity balances it out. When she returned, he didn't get rid of his masculine eye. The two eyes combined their forces, perfectly balancing their own power and properties. The same principle is also literally demonstrated with the dichotomy of Atum and Apep. Apep's gender is never mentioned, but I wonder if there is some symbolism hidden there, considering that the inside of a snake's mouth is not altogether dissimilar to the appearance of a woman's genitalia. Things that make you go, Another important thing to note is the fact that Atum wasn't able to just create whatever he wanted. He had to go through many trials and tribulations until he was finally able to see his manifestations to fruition. So, the feminine lesson here is that men are built for rejection. The mark of a true masculine man is that he will always get back up and problem solve until he finds the solution. As women, I feel that many of us are socialized to put a man's feelings over our own, and this always, yes, always, ends up ruining us. The most common situation I've seen is women literally settling for a man they aren't truly attracted to. He isn't really her type, and they're not even happy with him, all because she felt sorry for him and she didn't have the courage, aka the confidence, to say no. She spends her life doing her darndest to please him and prove herself to him, and he ultimately just resents her for it, biding his time until he's ready to leave her for the woman he truly wants. This role reversal dysfunction goes directly against our feminine biology. Pop quiz. Does the sperm swim to the egg, or does the egg swim to the sperm? Y'all already know the answer. The reality is, our bodies treat a man's sperm as an invader. When men give us their millions of sperm, which again goes back to what I said about men being built for rejection, our bodies then present them with different tests so that only the strongest, most worthy sperm cell is granted the privilege of a child, which also represents a legacy and immortality. And the first stage of these tests begins before procreation even happens, in the actual courting process. One thing that really irks me is how prostitution and gender roles have been conflated and demonized. While I am not at all an advocate for prostitution, I can see how it is an oversimplified, carnal version of our biological roles. Though, I do have to say that even in those relationships, the women are very much getting the short end of the stick. When a man demonstrates that he is a provider, it is not that he is simply trying to buy us. Although don't get me wrong, there are men out there like that. What it is that he is demonstrating his value to you. I have said that every man's goal is to get between our legs, but when they go through the motions of pursuing and eventually marrying us, they get so much more than sexual gratification from the union. Whatever they give to us, we amplify it and return it to them. There are studies that have shown that men are happier when they are married than not. Also, consider the societal status of men who are not desired by or useful to women. We have so much more power than we've been told. Don't let a dusty gaslight you into believing marriage is just a piece of paper. You should, of course, only get married if you truly want to. But if a man wants to spend the rest of his life with you, and especially get children from you, he needs to prove his own value by providing as the breadwinner and with the security blanket of marriage. There's a societal privilege that comes with marriage, but there are also legal privileges that are not granted to baby mamas or live-in girlfriends. Marriage is not simply a performance of love, it is also a contractual obligation and agreement, which is why you should stop letting your ever-changing emotions be the deciding factor in who you consider for marriage. Furthermore, if it is just a piece of paper, then he should have absolutely no problem giving it to you. If he is the one who pursued you and proposed to you, then he should always be proving his love to you. Again, Atum needed his eye. She didn't need him. Don't make it easy for them, and don't ever act out of pity for a man. They won't appreciate it, and frankly, they don't need it. We are the prize, not a prize, the prize. The only thing you need to do to make yourself valuable is to, number one, treat yourself as valuable, and that does include taking care of yourself physically in addition to mentally. But also, number two, the biggest thing is by being exclusive with who you share your feminine softness and energy with. He should be jumping through hoops for you because he is the one who approached you. Of course, it is a different story if you pursued him or, God forbid, proposed to him, which is why in this neck of the woods, that behavior will always be discouraged. So, that's that. As always, rate the video, comment your thoughts and suggestions for any other media you'd like me to check out and talk about. And I have to apologize if it's redundant for me to say that at the end of every video. I know that if you like the video, then you literally like the video. It's just that I personally have a habit of forgetting to hit the thumbs up button on certain videos I like until the creator literally says, hit the thumbs up button. So, figured I'd just go ahead and throw that reminder out there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day, and I will see all of you ethereal beings in the next one. Mwah! Bye.